Hey, what's up guys? I'm Popo. Thank you very much for coming to the channel. If you're new to the channel, on this channel I do unboxings, I do reviews on the MPC, and a lot of tutorial videos on it. 90% of my videos are tutorial videos, step-by-step walkthroughs. And I do request videos, so if you have a request for an MPC tutorial, just leave it in the comments. I'll be more than happy to make a video for you. Today what we're going to do is, I've heard a lot about, whoa, the MPC Keys is just the MPC X with the blah blah doo. And no, dude, let me tell you something right now. This is nothing compared to an MPC X. It might have the same workflow. It might have the same screen, which the MPC screen's a lot bigger. I'm going to show you here real quick. We're going to go through all of these. I've had them all. I've used them all. I've had hands-on experience, and I bought them all with my own money, so I can say whatever the heck I want. Starting off the bat here, you know, I know they incorporated a lot of the USB where you can do USB routing to all your synths, so that's great. You really don't need all these MIDI ports. I would have liked to have another MIDI out, or the option to use this MIDI through as another MIDI out, but I'm old school. I have Radio Shack MIDI cables, but the new way to do it is just to plug it in USB and run it that way. Sick, right? You got two inputs. The outputs, you got two with your gain, kind of like the MPC Live. This one here's got phono, mono. It doesn't have phono. It's got line and instrument. And then you got two USBs, which is really, really cool. There's no SD card on here. There's no, you know what I'm saying? But you do have a keyboard that's attached to it, and it's very, very solid. And I love using it. I'm not going to knock it one bit. Me personally, whenever I'm driving a car, I like it to look right in front of me. I don't want to turn left or right or look behind me to grab something that I could just, I lose focus. So it's just easy for me to be able to have this. This is a dream come true for me. I learned how to use MPC because it was so good. I respect the MPC, but I grew up playing keyboard. So by giving me the keyboard and an MPC is like untying my left arm. Now I can hold stuff while I do other stuff. So it really, really opened a whole world for me. I never thought to just sample and do that on the MPC X. You can do it with the MIDI keyboard and all that. It's great. But I never thought to do it because it wasn't in front of me. The keyboard does come with some extra options. It has a little touch strip on it and a lot of other things. It comes with all those sounds, okay? And the sounds are good. Just going to say that. The MPC X, this is the king of all MPCs. They threw out everything. And if they make an MPC Keys with everything that's on here, not so much the buttons and the dial pad, but the Q links and the screen and everything like that, where you have the Q LED showing you everything. It's just beautiful. It shows you everything you're doing. And this here is a true hip-hop station. You can hook up a keyboard to it and do everything to it. What I use it for, I control all my modular rig. I send voltage control with all these Q links. I twist them with read-write automation, and it totally jacks up my whole modular rig that I use. So I have full control over that with my MPC X, and I use it Ableton Live Link with my cell phone. I pair them up, and I don't use them hooked up MIDI, because I got the same sounds in both boxes. So I mean, unless I use Ableton Link if I want to use more audio tracks. Let me show you some more about this thing. It's got preamp, phantom power, really nice stuff. The buttons are hard. You're not going to scratch these up with your fingernails. It's very tactile, and you're going to last forever. I've had mine has been through a beating. Look at all these inputs. 1 and 2. You got this, your phono, line, right? All these outputs. The CV gates are nice and spread out, so you don't have to buy like a splitter. I'll show you here on the MPC One or the Live. I believe you only have 4. I'll show you in just a second. But look at the outputs. You got A, B, C, and D, and the option. So this here gives you the most. You can't mess with the X. This thing is big, bad, and beautiful, and it'll always be the king, in my honest opinion. If you have a keyboard with this, you're good to go. But like I say, less clutter for me is better. But this is, by hands down, the best MPC they have. Look at this thing, the MPC One. I had a really nice time with this a couple of weeks ago, and these are very small. They're a little smaller, and I like it because it's a little closer, and you can really get in there and dig in there deep. You do have a SD card reader, a headphone jack. It doesn't have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, so it's hard to update. But other than that, you got the tactile buttons again, and it's very, very cool. It looks like a Rubik's Cube from heaven. I had so much fun playing on this thing. You got one USB, but you're talking $400 or $500 less. This is, what, $900? Compared to this MPC 2 is like $1,200, and the X is, well, I don't even remember, over 2,000, and then the Keys is freaking, what, 1,900? I don't even know, but it's worth every penny of it. I had the MPC Live 2, and I actually just came out here and I turned on my studio, and what was I playing with today? I have a brand new Keys. I busted out my MPC Live 2. It's just so nice to be able to take this and see if there's any updates. Battery power, you're on the go. This is what you want, man. It's got everything you need and some. It's beautiful. SD card. See how these CV gates, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to get like a splitter, but if you're not into modular stuff, you don't have to worry about that. This is really, really dope with the phono in and everything like that. I'm just trying to show this here doesn't have that phono, and neither does the Keys, but you can always get an adapter, and plug in 1 and 2 with like a little adapter, you know what I'm saying? And then, I don't know, what I do, how I run my studio is I have everything coming out of my mixer. Everything in my studio goes into a mixer, out of my mixer into my Keys now. This way I can resample everything on my key bed. I wish I could find a better picture of this. This right here, I mean, just the board itself. Let's get a good picture here. I mean, this board itself, I'm absolutely in love with it. It's just, let me show you. So I'm a keyboard player. I have tons of synthesizers. I've had Novation Peak. I've had a lot of the Korg Mini-Log, Metal Sculpt. I've played a lot of different synthesizers, and this one here is legit. And somebody said, yeah, you won't use it for sound design. If you look at that OPX and some of the stuff that they have in here, as a sound designer, and I have a ton of modular gear, yeah, no, you can definitely use this to make sounds and to import your sounds to share with the community. So that's what I plan on doing. I'm going to be making sounds off my modular rig, making key groups out of them, and most likely just give them away. But look at this. Got a touch strip here. The pads are MPC One pads. You got a bend wheel. All the stuff. I'm just saying, guys, if you didn't have anything in your studio, anything, and if you have a small studio and you don't need keys, if you can knock out 4 hours, because I believe the battery life on this is 4 hours, if you can make this battery die, then you put in a hell of a session. And I would put this as probably my favorite MPC, just because of all the features you get, the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, the back, you get the connections for your turntables. You bust right into a record shop on battery power and sample. It's amazing. Or to be able to just take your work with you. It's very convenient. All the other devices, you're going to be tied down into the studio or to an outlet. I don't see myself carrying my MPC Keys upstairs or downstairs. It's going to sit where it lives, or it's going to live where it sits. And same with my MPC X. But it does make things a whole lot cleaner. I don't have to have all that hookup, and the sounds that it comes with are pretty decent too, and I get a little bit more memory. So it is a total update, upgrade, and anybody says that it's not worth it or anything like that, they don't play keys. So if you play keys, I'm telling you, this thing here is where it's at. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. This is not for like, oh, I come from an MPC Live or MPC X. You're going to like it too, because you can sample on your keys. But if you're a keyboard player definitely give this a shot. They're trying to introduce you guys into something, and I'm trying to tell you I've used a lot of gear that doesn't work, and this here works. Alright guys, I hope that covered a lot of stuff. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments. The one was so much fun. Such a cool little box, man. Like I say, a little Rubik Cube feel, tactile, solid box. Really, really dope. Top of the list right here for my favorite. But hands down, you can't mess with the MPC X. You can't touch it. Hook a MIDI keyboard up to this. You get the same workflow and everything. But if you like that all one thing right in front of you, and really all you have to do is hit this Q link to toggle over or hold it down to see your options. Less clutter, a little bit more work, a little faster, I think. It's just a good workflow for me. Right on, guys. I'm Polypopo. Thank you very much for coming by and checking out the channel. If you're new, consider subscribing. I'm going to be doing a lot of tutorials on this, so or if you know anybody who likes this kind of stuff, share the video. All right, I'll talk to you later. Thank you.